Afternoon, folks. You find me here at London Bridge Station. One of the busiest stations you'll find here in London. Well, unless it's a Sunday and you have lots of engineering work going on. But hey, some networks operate differently than others. So, first episode. Let's begin. I mean, it's a cold Sunday afternoon. Rather cold. Well, not as cold as it has been the past few weeks beforehand. I fancied a walk. Just done an 8-hour shift, 7 till 3. And I thought, yeah, let's go stretch my legs. You know, sometimes walking is good for you like that. So now we're on London Bridge Walk. Just gonna walk over to London Bridge and then head over. Now, let's get down to business. First things first, call me DoubleDeckerAnton. I'm a railway worker. I'm a station announcer, and I work for a well-known train operating company in London. So, on top of that, I deal with things such as, well, I run the station where I'm at. I do, obviously, as it says in the title, announcing, keeping people informed. You know, whether there's any disruption, any changes in service, any engineering works going on, like there are today. You know, things they need to do, you know, places they need to travel to, if there's any alternative, well, arranged means of transport, such as replacement buses, or anything like that going on. And before that, I've worked on platforms, so I dispatch trains. I still do that now, as I've decided to keep a hold of one of my accreditations for it. And I also deal with assisted travel, so such as arranging assistance for persons with reduced mobility. So i.e. wheelchair users or other mobility impairments where it requires either using other forms of movement, such as walkers or whatever. Arranging ramp assistance, luggage, assisting visually impaired persons, that sort of thing. And that's something I used to do in one of my previous jobs, so I understand how important the need for it is, as well as the legal implications for it as well, which I get why when things go pear-shaped, it doesn't often end very well. Complaints arise, and the train operating companies are held accountable for any failures in the assistance. Could potentially lead to a court case, and who wants that? But anyway, I won't get into that. But then again, that's the Disability Inequality Act of 2010, you know, so it's very, very important to make sure to get this right, you know, because there are people out there who need assistance getting from point A to point B, and it is down to the train operating companies to honour it and follow it through to the letter. And I also deal with the running of the service, so I have to monitor the running of all the trains through my station and make sure they're running on time. And if there's any reasons as to why trains are leaving late, I have to write reports on that. I have to justify what caused it, especially if it's to do with the station that I'm managing. You know, whether it's to do with assists, or if there's any passengers acting in unruly manners, or even obstructing doors, or pulling the what's known as the passenger communication alarm, and then causing the train to have to be on a standstill because it activates the emergency brakes. And it takes quite a while for the driver to de-isolate, and then causing a further delay. Outside of work, I enjoy traveling, exploring places, you know, going wherever I like, really. Because one of the benefits when you work for the railway is you get free travel. Typically free travel for the train operating company that you work for. In some instances, you get extra things such as first class travel. Not all train operating companies offer that. And then you also get access to big juicy discounts of 75% off the price of a standard ticket with other train operating companies. So it's a big saving. So you're only paying 25% of the cost for 1/4 of it. So it's a very, very huge saving. But you can only get your hands on that once you've done 6 months of service on the railway. So once you've hit the 6 months, you'll get an automatic notification from the rail delivery group, and they will automatically send it to your doorstep. Yeah, brilliant. That's one of the great things about working on the railway. I also enjoy riding buses. I'm on a bit of a break at the moment, but I've been riding London bus routes since I was a kid. Since I was in secondary school, I think. So just over 20 years I've been doing it for, and I've covered pretty much all 4 corners of London. Been on hundreds of bus routes. Probably the last time I counted, there was over 550 routes I've done, and there's over 700 in London. And they keep changing all the time. Some are getting withdrawn, some are getting altered. You know, so it's kind of challenging having to keep on top of that, especially when you're in full-time work. But I find my ways. Yeah. All right. Just wait for a moment. All right. Yeah. So that's one of my biggest hobbies, riding bus routes in London. And I've been doing it, as I say, for over 20 years of my life. Yeah, I'll do that. Keep track of my fitness. Yeah, so I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I decided to take a little break from doing so. Pop fare advert for the oyster. Yeah, so I took a bit of a break from doing it because I've been going on so many routes, and I've been doing it ever so much that I just need to slow down a bit. Especially now that I'm in, well, I work full-time, long hours, long days, you know. And I'll talk more about the job in future episodes. Sometimes hate seeing couples doing that. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, I'll talk more about the job, what I do, share some stories with you, interesting things that I do on a daily basis in later episodes. Yeah, so I like train rides as well. I enjoy doing that. Just gonna be safe and wait. You know, red man. Obviously, we red for stop. Yeah, so I like visiting places that I can reach, whether it's on the staff pass or with my discount. And I also have another hobby in the form of visiting Wetherspoon pubs. Oh, hang on a minute. Right, so the green line coming up. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Ah, lovely. Finally. Right. Yeah, so I'll enjoy visiting the odd Wetherspoon pub or two. It was nearly 6 years ago, back during the COVID lockdowns. So this was 4th of July that year, 4th of July 2020 to be precise. The government allowed us to go out to bars and pubs again. When they called the lockdown, I think it was in February, I think it was March that year. Couldn't do any of that. It caused a total standstill. I mean, it caused a total standstill for the hospitality industry. You know, and as a result of it, many businesses ended up having to shut down operations. Honestly, Wetherspoon stood firm and continued, you know, doing food and drink at reasonable prices. And honestly, it worked. You know, because more people find it desirable going to a Wetherspoon pub than independent pubs and other companies, you know, like Green King, Fuller's, etc., 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 because of the pricing. It's hardly rocket science, is it? And I've noticed quite a lot of them have, quite a lot of the Wetherspoon pubs I've been to have some historical value. I mean, a few of my favourites are Opera House, Tunbridge Wells, Kent. There's St Matthew's Hall in Walsall in the West Midlands, which, I'll be honest with you, I think that's pretty much South Staffordshire. And then there's two others I like. There is Samuel Petto in Folkestone. And my other favourite is what's it called? Oh yeah, the Royal Victoria Pavilion in Ramsgate in the Kent Coast, which is the biggest in the country. That's the biggest Wetherspoon pub you'll ever find in the country. Yeah, so other than that, yeah, it's just been also getting into photography, especially mobile phone photography, and I've also bought a DSLR camera, which I'm still yet to learn how to use, especially getting crisp shots and then learning the photo editing. Been learning a bit of video editing and so on. I'm watching other YouTubers do their videos and then taking some notes, you know, so that I could hopefully be able to do that in my videos. Some of my favourite YouTubers include Underneaths. I'm just going to look a bit rogue on this. Crossing the road. Well, luckily with here on Threadneedle Street, there's no upcoming traffic anymore. This is all bikes coming up. But yeah, Londoniques was one of my favourites. I've been watching his videos for 7 years. Is it 7 years? Yeah, almost 7 years. He's been active since I think late 2019. He's a delivery person. He does food deliveries like Uber Eats, Just Eat, did I just say delivery? Yeah, Uber Eats, Just Eat, Deliveroo, and also does other courier style jobs. Yeah, he's very interactive. I love how he engages with his viewers. Honestly, he's a great guy. It makes me laugh as well, especially when he gets triggered by people doing things they shouldn't be doing, such as crossing the road when they're not supposed to, and then also risking getting themselves run over or whatever. Yeah, quite funny, if I'm being honest. But yeah, other than that, yeah, so been learning a few things, you know, especially with his styles of doing these vlogs and so on, and I might try to adopt it slightly.
It's built.
Well, obviously, well, not copy, but adopt a similar style or anything like that. Other than that, yeah, I recommend you check out his channel. Another YouTuber I enjoy watching, DoubleDeckerAnton. He's a London bus driver. I've seen him quite a lot over the years, and he's one of the probably one of the most interesting, insightful of bus drivers I've ever met over the years, and probably one of the most enthusiastic I've ever seen on YouTube. I've seen quite a few, but he stands out by far. Yeah, so he's a London bus driver. Works for a well-known bus operating company. I won't mention the name for obvious reasons, you know, to protect one's identity. So he works for a well-known bus operating company. Drives a number of routes. Talks a lot about the job. Stories that from events that he's encountered when dealing with the general public. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so stories that from situations he's encountered from the general public. It's red light, dude. Red light. Oh, really? That is definitely something we're going to talk about in the future video. But yeah, yeah, so it gives a huge, in-depth insight into bus driver life, sorts of situations that they deal with. And one of my favourite videos that he made was when he talked about being mindful when it comes to your employer's social media policy. Very, very important. I mean, I checked with my superiors and others just to make sure that it's okay for me to be on here, and at the same time just, you know, being mindful, you know, things to say, things not to say, etc, etc, etc. Yeah, other than that, I've got that video saved, so if I ever need to refer back to it, then I can. So thank you, Anton. So when you get a chance, check out his channel and enjoy. And it's a pure joy, you know, watching someone who's enthusiastic about their craft, about the work they do, you know. And one thing I've always believed in is that there's no point doing something, like, especially if you're in education or doing anything similar to that, or even work, or combined the two, whatever it is that you do in life. There's no point doing something just to please people or just because you feel the need to do so. And that includes your parents. You know, you should only do it if it is the right thing for you to do. You know, because the one big mistake which I made just over 10 years ago, which I will say, was going to university. A big mistake I'm still paying for now. Yeah, I'm paying for that mistake. I'm still paying for it now. Yeah. Only do it if it's the right thing for you. Only do something that you know you're going to enjoy. And if you're passionate about it, it's a bonus. Hence my hobbies. So yeah, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. And another London bus driver I've met is a guy called Renault, who also operates in London. Well, works in London, I should say. I first met him in East London during the time when I was going somewhere, and then realised the hard way that the overground had some engineering works. I completely forgot to check. Whoops. Yeah, so he's because he was doing some vlogs on his life as a bus driver, but not as much as he did before, so I've noticed. And one of my favourite videos was the first one that he did, where he showed his insight into the job, going to the garage, signing on, doing a tour of the garage itself, the types of buses he drives, etc, etc, etc. And again, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to mention the company that he works for. But what I will say is, you may see him around. So do say hi if you see him, or even Anton. Just to add to some of the benefits that I mentioned earlier on, I mean, that's some of my favourites. One of them is the international rail discount that you get, which is 50% off the final price, typically on Eurostar services, where you can go to certain parts of Europe. But you can only get that once you've done 12 months of service. You get a good amount of annual leave. And then also my favourite is the access to support networks, especially mental health support, especially if you're going through difficult times at work or even outside of it. There's professionals around who can support you in whatever way you need. And then also workshops to improve your skills, especially helpful, especially if you're trying to progress into roles which require a specific yet unique skill set to get into. It's great. But in order to keep these benefits, you must remain on the railway, because the second you leave, or if you're dismissed from your role, you lose the lot. Right. That's gonna wrap it up for now. I'm at Liverpool Street. I'm gonna head off home, relax, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the day. If you've watched the episode this far, thank you for watching, and I shall catch you in the next episode very soon. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and be nice to one another. And bye-bye for now. One last thing before I go. I'm going to leave you a question. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. What is the best piece of advice anyone has ever given you, and why? Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and catch you in the next episode. Bye.